Look around and you will notice a quiet exhaustion running through almost everything we do. We are living through an epidemic of burnout, chronic stress, and a persistent existential dread. This anxiety stems from a deep collective illusion, the belief that our timeline is strictly finite. When we operate under the assumption that we are exclusively our physical bodies, the stakes of everyday life become difficult to manage. Every aging cell, every missed deadline, and every worldly pressure feels like a threat to our very existence, simply because we assume the clock is always running out. From this perspective, our psychological crisis is rooted in a misunderstanding of our own identity, rather than a failure of personal resilience. Thousands of years ago, mystical Indian philosophy offered a profound disruption to this exact panic. Foundational texts like the Bhagavad Gita were recorded as advanced alternative models of reality. The framework they laid out has a specific capability. It targets the root of modern anxieties, aiming to make them logically obsolete. It raises a central question. Could the persistent weight of modern life be relieved by a total shift in how we define what a human being actually is? To understand this shift in perspective, we look to one specific foundational verse. This is a centuries-old manuscript page, preserving a philosophy that has carried immense weight across millennia. If we look at the modern transliteration of this text, we can isolate the core phonetic phrase, Hanyate, Hanyamane, Sharire. In English, this translates to a radical statement: the soul is not slain when the body is slain. That single sentence severs our identity from our temporary biological vessel. It asks us to stop viewing ourselves as mortal matter. Instead, we are defined as spiritual energy, an immortal, formless force that constitutes our true underlying consciousness. In this view, the eventual dissolution of the physical biological form operates as a return to the vastness of the cosmic infinite. Under this framework, consciousness is a permanent fragment of boundless universal energy, rather than a byproduct of the brain that flickers out at death. We are eternal souls, temporarily inhabiting a physical form. This soul is a participant in a grand cycle of universal evolution. This diagram illustrates the mechanics of this philosophy. The soul simply sheds physical bodies, the same way a person discards old, worn-out clothes. Physical decay and death are framed as waypoints within a much larger cosmic ecosystem. The core of this immortal consciousness is described as a state of pure, divine golden light, a source that remains untouched by the physical decay surrounding it. When the timeline is viewed on this cosmic scale, the concept of destruction shifts from an ending to a relocation. This cosmic perspective is meant to be applied directly to the mundane realities of the physical world. When you layer this reality over everyday environments, the context of modern life shifts. Recognizing yourself as indestructible energy changes the stakes of workplace failures or societal expectations. Those worldly pressures only hold power when we forget our infinite nature. The Bhagavad Gita does not ask us to abandon the physical world or run away from our responsibilities. Instead, it provides the psychological armor required to engage with this physical world more intensely. Knowing that your core cannot be harmed allows you to make decisions and take risks without the paralysis of fear. Identifying with this continuity allows us to engage with the world without the weight of impending finality.